Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm your host, Barry Miller with the RevAmp podcast. Today, I have Leore Spira as our guest. I'm really excited to have her as a guest. I've been in touch with her online for the past year since I joined DealHub, and Leore is literally everywhere online. I've also seen her in in-person events. Right now, she is the head of revenue operations at Buildots, a construction company or construction tech company. She's a panel advisor, assumingly for the RevOps function for Ibex Investors. She also co-founded and community leader of the Optimizers. We'll learn more about that soon. And she's been in revenue operations for some time and operations for some time. So Leore, take it away. Tell us a little bit. I definitely missed a lot. Tell me some more of what I missed.
First of all, hi everyone, and thank you for inviting me. I'm super flattered and honored to be here and speak about revenue operations and the community. Yes, I've been a revenue operations leader and expert for quite a while. I established 2 departments in several startups. And I co-founded the Optimizers community, the Israeli community for operations leaders, almost 2 years ago, a year and a half, more or less. And I guess, and I did it, by the way, just because when I became revenue operations, or when I started my career as a sales operations, I felt that I'm a lonely wolf, not just in the company, but also in the ecosystem. And I felt that I want to learn more. I'm eager to learn more. I have so many ideas. I have so many things I want to share with other people, and I have no one to do that with. Not because I didn't believe that there are no sales ops, RevOps, or any kind of ops functions at Israelis or even global companies, just because nobody ever introduced himself or herself as that. And therefore, I just felt that I need maybe to create something and build a community, or just gather some people to a specific platform just to start a conversation. It can be about operations, it can be about strategy, it can be about tech stack and tool, it can be about even, feelings and frustration that we have working with management, with the go-to-market leaders. And yeah, and I guess this is how it happens. I met 2 amazing women that together we founded the community. And at some point, also revenue operations has become more of a, I would say, interesting and intriguing buzzword, and not just a rumor that everybody spoke about. What is RevOps? What is revenue operations? What is go-to-market operations? Something is now we're transitioning from sales ops to something else. And I think this community came, especially during COVID, when we were stuck at home, we were quarantined, and we worked with our computers only, and we didn't even interact with people. So I think this was basically the catalysator of pushing us to actually found the community, because this was the time, that we could have the feeling that we are not alone, that we are, like, something is happening. There is a new trend. We are transitioning to a new era of processes, strategies, startups. I guess at some point they realized that we're shifting to a new mindset, and there is a new transformation within the company. And I think it was a great opportunity to also interact and network with global revenue operations or operations leaders at other companies. So, and again, and this is something also that gave me the push to even think and find a solution for us leaders to interact with colleagues globally, because and that is why I'm working also on founding the global optimizers community on LinkedIn to bring us Israelis together with American, Europeans, Africans, everyone that feel that they have so much information and so many best practices to share in the operations functions. And I think it's a great opportunity also for us as Israelis to interact with other people and see how people across the globe actually build their go-to-market process, the customer journey, the lead-to-cash strategy, etc.
Right, fantastic. So that's really cool that you started that. I've seen the importance of community growth, not just in RevOps, but in every function, even functions that have been around for a while, like marketing. David Gerhardt, he just left Drift because he has such a strong community that he built himself, for example. I'm not saying Buildots should be worried that you're going to leave, but that
no,
that's pretty interesting. So definitely the power of community. People are hungry to learn. People are eager to share, which is nice. I think that's like, personally, this is what I've been seeing, and it's actually I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. What I've been seeing this transformation of this like Gary V kind of hustle kind of culture, where in order to succeed, you have to hustle, you have to work at night. It's about grit. And that's it. And now I feel like it's more about helping people and being more human. Not that Gary V was against being human or against helping people, but that I think his number one thing was hustle, and people were eating that up like just 3 years ago, a lot more than they are now. And now I see people just eating up the idea of just sharing is caring. Here's some information that I learned. Oh, I love that. Let me give you a gift to respond and things like that. What would you say? Would you also do you see a similar pattern, or is?
Of course. I think that since, well, I have more than 10 years experience at high-tech companies and at other companies as well as sales ops, or even I started my career as marketing. And I see that, well, especially during COVID, operations, like any operations function or job position that was open at companies before COVID, like they didn't get as much of attention because usually management is focusing on positions like marketing, like sales, because they bring the money, they bring the dollars to the company. They work on the brand awareness. They promote the company externally. And for us, operations, what we do, especially RevOps, we work with the go-to-market departments. We help them to build a revenue machine, a scalable revenue machine. We help them to become more productive and efficient, but eventually we work internally. And I guess that we didn't get as much of attention as we should have before COVID, but once companies changed their mindset and shifted the focus from not just sales and marketing, and you can see that, by the way, on customer success. Customer success was like the function started like few years ago, but it didn't get a lot of attention once the mindset was changed or shifted from sales and from generating leads into a customer journey process. Revenue operations didn't even exist, by the way, at all. It was either sales operations, marketing operations, and then customer success operations, if companies really saw a necessity to actually build this function or just push it into support, just because this is what they knew. They didn't think about the customer journey, the buyer, the client, the onboarding process. They thought about the money, they need to make the sale, they need to generate the leads to generate more sales and opportunities. And nobody really gave any much of attention to the customer, to the end customer. And after, and the customer experience after they purchased the solution. So I think once that mindset was actually shifted to the customer journey, then revenue operations could actually get, or could transition from just a buzzword into an actual important and critical function. Because if you work with sales operations, marketing operations, and customer success operations, you still work at silos. You are avoiding building a holistic process that most of the important milestones are the handshakes and the handovers, and therefore there is a lot of friction. And once companies' mindset or strategies were shifted into the customer journey, then revenue operations arose, and we could not just build a holistic process, we could also actually maintain the rhythm and the conversation and communication between each department. And by the way, not only sales, marketing, and customer success as go-to-market, we could also involve R&D, we could involve product, we can also make sure that other departments that are important or that work at the company actually understand and have the information and the data about the customer to make them a happier customer or support them in time of needs. And yes, I think revenue operations, it's a trend. It's a really, really cool and sexy buzzword. I think everybody's talking about it. I don't think, maybe not all companies really understand what we are actually doing and why we should, why technology, process, and strategy must be together at one place and one function to actually make sure that we have a holistic process. But we will get there, I think, and we're starting to see this again. This is why I founded the community, because I wanted not just operations leaders to get together and be at one place, have a one professional hub. I wanted also to bring CEOs, to bring COOs, to bring anyone that can benefit from the discussion, because what we're doing is we're talking professionally. We are sharing best practices, we're sharing information, we're sharing experience, we're sharing, and we're asking questions. And I think this can be beneficial not just to operations functions, but also to management and other leaders, because again, it's relevant to all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk more about the community. What questions? First, let's talk about how many people are in the Tel Aviv RevOps community. Do you have a guesstimate?
Well, RevOps is new, so we didn't in regards to statistics. I don't think we have as much revenue operations experts here in Israel, but hopefully in the next few years we will see more and more. But we do have we have right now at the community almost 2,000 members.
Amazing.
That comes from operations positions, if it's revenue operations, business operations, product operations, customer success operations, sales operations, marketing operations, engineering operations, like a lot of operations. We also see C-level and VPs that come from go-to-market department or relevant teams that can benefit from our discussions. And we can see, and again, we are this is a professional community. It's a professional hub. We were recognized by Startup Nation recently that as a professional hub, because we are promoting professional discussions. We are encouraging people to speak in the community. We are not allowing, by the way, to have a have a comment like, write me a message. I will, let's talk about this offline, because we do believe in sharing is caring. We do believe, and this is something that I'm enforcing myself, by the way, with the members, because I really want us to feel secure and to feel that we can raise any kind of professional question that is related to our day-to-day or best practices or or processes and strategies that we want to translate and execute into tools and technology. So yeah, we are. I think that what I really love about this community is we're not just managed to bring all of us lonely wolves to one platform. We're also starting to speak with one another, to share ideas, to share recommendations, to share any kind of a problem, a dilemma, anything that comes in top of their mind, just because they feel safe to do that. And they feel safe, and they feel now that they have someone to speak with, and they're not alone. They have someone that feels the same way they did or they do. For the first time, also, I felt that I have people that actually feel and experience my frustration that I have usually sometimes at during my job or my day-to-day tasks, because unlike them, sometimes I don't have a team. Sometimes we just join two companies as the first position, and then we grow step by step with the company. And sometimes it's very frustrating, and you have nobody to speak with. So we are also I think in some way also, provide like free therapy.
Yeah, very cheap therapy.
Cheap therapy to one another. Yeah, but it's like, I think it's beneficial for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. So tell me maybe some patterns that you see in this community. It's been going on for 2 years. There's 2,000 people. Like what question do you keep on seeing coming up? What dilemma do you see keep on coming up? I know people have the search functionality, but maybe people still ask the same type of questions. Do you see any patterns?
Yeah, so we have a lot of questions about tools, about solutions that can solve any kind of pain or use case that they're feeling. So we have a lot of questions about that. And I think most of us share our experience with tools that they work at with their current companies or previous ones. Sometimes we change, sometimes we keep working with the same tool at different companies. So I think we see that a lot. Also, we are sharing a lot of best practices. So when we build a process, usually it's us companies, the process is more of the same. So we might have like, well, it depends on the company module, but if it's a B2B or B2C, for example, but usually the process is really the same. But we do have, like, each company has its own tweaks that they implement in order to measure and understand more about the process. So we have a lot of dilemmas or best practices sharing that we see at the community. We also, I can see a lot of questions about the yearly plan. So we can see, like, usually what happened in the past is that we were hired as a single function at the company. We supported a lot of teams. We supported a lot of, we provided a lot of services, and we supported not just the teams, but also management and leadership. And but we never had one responsibility that was under us. So, and we didn't build a yearly plan or a budget, or we didn't manage even a team and things like that. And I can see right now that companies actually understand not just the importance of the function, that also we cannot be a one man or one woman show. And we have a lot of questions that I'm also trying to support the community members, because I had the experience to actually build this plan this year at Buildots. But we don't have templates and we don't have experience in actually building a team of either revenue operations or business operations from scratch. And I think that it's interesting, because even companies now, management understand that that this team should be more of a centralized one, and we should include some functions that some companies or back then in the past were divided to different departments. So it's interesting, and we see how this position has transitioned from a one-man woman show to a team. And it's a struggle, and we have a lot of discussions about this and how colleagues see that, how their function actually operates at the company, like sharing different point of views, experience, etc.
Absolutely. No, that makes a lot of sense. So let's even go one deeper onto some of those points, right? So we have the first point was people ask a lot about tools. What function, can you be more specific on that? Like what tools are they looking for? Are they looking to buy tools, or they have an idea of what they want to do and they know that they have a tool to accomplish that?
Well, it depends. Some of us are, they know how they want to plan and build their tech stack based on the different teams. So from experience, of course, some of us know which tools are a must-have for sales, for marketing, and for customer success. Some of us don't. So we do ask about not just a specific tool, but usually it comes from like we have a problem, we have a use case, like how do you suggest to solve this with technology? And since revenue operations is responsible not just to build processes, translate strategies, or improve strategies together with the go-to-market teams, we also support the teams in building a scalable tech stack. So we evaluate tools, we bring them to the table, we hear and discuss these things, mostly the pain with the teams, with the managers, with the team members themselves. But what we can see, yes, so in the community, I think usually we're not just asking about a specific tool, but we just want to get an advice, like how would we support, which tools do you recommend to solve this problem, or this problem? And you can see that all of us had a various experience, and we tried a lot of tools along our careers, so we can, that everyone can get one or two or even three tools that they can check and look out and build a use case based on what they're experiencing in their company.
Cool. And what's a template or process best practices that people are looking for the most, like a specific one?
I think now that all of us are transitioning to building a customer journey process, so it would be like more of sharing best practices about the lead to cash process, about how to manage sales in the most effective way, so they would provide information that can later on be very, very useful, not just to customer success, but also for the product and R&D team. I guess we have a lot of best practices that are shared in regards to support and how we can use the technical processes of the technical teams to support not the business units as well. So how we can benefit from support tickets, for example, and best practices that we built to actually create features and create solutions in-house in regards to customer health score, into lead to cash strategy. So actually we're trying to now we understand, by the way, that we are all connected. So if we have several operations department, we shouldn't be separated, because their best practices to their colleagues in similar positions can also be very useful to other operations functions.
Cool. What advice would you have for our listeners that maybe aren't in New York City or the Valley, California, but maybe in a smaller city, smaller high-tech city, kind of like what Tel Aviv was 2 years ago with RevOps being new to Tel Aviv? What advice would you give to those people that want to connect with people that are in their neighborhoods or in their city?
First of all, I have to say that in the US, they are much more advanced than us, Israel. So they have a lot of best practices and insights to share with us, the Israelis. But my best advice would be network, like trying to find people around you and sit around the table, share ideas, share. This is, again, how we started. Share your ideas, even schedule a open Zoom session to speak about your struggles, to speak about use cases, to speak about pains. And a pain can be not just a professional pain, but also personal. Like for me to see, I think one of the first roundtables that we did before we actually founded the community was we scheduled like an open Zoom, and some people came and we shared frustration. We shared that we feel alone. We shared that we are pushing for a lot of processes, and like we can see the data and we can see the insights that we can provide, but we are all alone. We don't have support. We don't have a team. We have a lot on our plate, and it's frustrating. And it's overwhelming. And I guess like try to convert like we actually measure, we measure conversion rates, right? So try to convert yourself from a lonely wolf to a team, and not a team in-house, like a team of like a small family of revenue operations experts and leaders, or even not, even people that want to be experts, like join together, join hands, speak about it, talk about it, share ideas. Like I think we can all learn from one another, and we can also teach ourselves more, and make sure that we're taking what we know, and we can take it now to the next level just from listening to other people. So I think, yeah, it's something that is super important, especially in these times when not all of us go to the office. And yeah, it's nice to know someone that knows exactly how you feel and knows exactly what your problems are or dilemmas, and maybe sometimes can give you a good advice. It's like having a good friend, but professionally good one. So it's really nice.
Absolutely. I can relate. I'm not, myself in revenue operations day to day. I speak with people in revenue operations, but I can relate 100%. So I think that's great advice for everyone listening at home or on the road, and how to network, the power network. It's not Also, this podcast you can learn from, but also go into these Facebook groups, go into these Slack communities, and network with people. It could be cold messaging them if you find out that they're in the same city. It could be tweeting them, LinkedIn messaging, Facebook. The world is our oyster, if you will. So yeah, fantastic. Well,
Don't be
Leore,
shy.
don't be
Don't be
shy.
shy.
Don't be shy. Leore, this was a great interview. Thank you so much for being a guest on it. I really appreciated it. Really appreciate it. And I'm sure our guests do, our listeners do also at home. And thanks again, and looking forward to staying in touch.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.